Making sure your equipment is being properly inspected is key to keeping your facility and workers safe. So when you find someone to do your inspection, you want to make sure that they are going to do a thorough job. Unfortunately, that's not always the case. Things get missed, inspections seem too quick, and there's a problem with communication. No matter who you end up choosing for your next inspection, we want to provide you with the knowledge to find the right inspector, ask the right questions, look out for warning signs if the inspection isn't going the way it should, and know the steps to take if you've had a bad inspection. So let's get into it. Welcome back to the Lifting and Rigging channel. My name is Kay. Today we spoke with Tom Horner, Mazzella's Corporate Rigging Inspection Manager. Tom has seen it all with over 20 years in the inspection world, and he has helped countless customers improve on their safety and efficiency. So let's see what he has to say.
Some of the things we might see for a bad inspection, it could actually start with a customer reaching out to us after they just had an inspection performed and they've got a gut feeling that something wasn't right. Maybe the inspection went too quick. There's a lot of items that were marked damaged, needing repaired or replaced without a very good explanation. So a good example might be, hey, we've got all these chain slings that they said were no good, but there's no danger tags or any real explanation as to what's wrong with them. So you just take one of the chains, hang it up, and inspect it with the customer. And we may validate that, hey, there's a number of items on this pallet that really have no physical issues whatsoever, and we just walked you through it. It's not just somebody showed up and left really quick type thing. It's a lot deeper. How long should an inspection take? As long as it takes to find everything that you can get your hands on within a facility. You want to be careful with that because it's not required that you get your hands on every piece. But of course, if you're there in a perfect world, you want to touch everything. We get to the actual reporting, the documentation of the inspection. Even to this day, some of the worst evidences we see of that are reports just not even being provided. The inspection was performed, somebody was there, somebody did something, they've reached out to the vendor and just can't even get the document returned from the inspection. Or you might just see something jotted down on a work order that says, hey, I looked at all your slings and 5 of them were bad and they're by your office. It just doesn't jive with what's required in ASME. And then you might just look at the report and it might be handwritten. Somebody just jotted down a whole bunch of stuff and says, I'm done, and handed it on the desk and left for the day. It leads you to some other conversations about, really what did you get during this inspection? The customer has to do really a good job of informing themselves. They know something needs to happen. They're usually told, hey, make sure you get your slings tested or inspected. And then we start to receive the inquiry, right? And we know by the verbiage that they might, approach us with, well, they probably are not familiar with this service. And then it's our responsibility as the experts to inform them backwards. Right? We want to make sure, hey, we know you need something. We're not here to sell you anything. We're here to inform you. We're going to put you in the best position so that when you make your decision, hopefully Mazzella is the one that wins, but ultimately that you've walked out of here with the information you need to move forward. But when it comes up to that, there's not really any great single sources that tell anyone what they have to do. But we at Mazzella have a tremendous library of content that answers all these questions for our customers. I think you really want to look for somebody who can support you on the back end of the inspection. I think that's where a lot is missed out on. If you chose a provider that isn't a rigging distributor, rigging seller, if they don't make the slings, if they can't sell you the slings, it's going to be really hard for them to support you on the back end. And that's usually where, at the end of the day, after an inspection, there's a lot of pain. We've just inspected all your rigging and now you've got something you have to deal with. Is it a number of items that need repaired? Is it a number of items that need replaced? Can your provider repair them? Can they replace them? Do they even know the terminology of what they need to replace? So you want to make sure that you're choosing somebody who can support you on the back end, because it might also include training. After an inspection, If we looked at, let's just say 100 items and we failed 60 for various reasons, might have been a customer's first inspection, we're going to say, hey, there's a good chance you need some training, and then you have to educate them about that. Here's what ASME requires regarding training. Here's what they require on a periodic basis regarding care, use, and inspection. And then on the back end, we can also say after the training, we can still perform more than one periodic inspection because that just might be what's required and they don't know it. And that would be based on the severity of use, how many shifts they're running, how many lifts they're making per day. And that's again why you want to deal with somebody who knows this business, is they want to just make sure at the end of it, you as the customer are getting what you receive. It wasn't just somebody there to put a piece of paper on your desk. We might discover previous vendors just didn't have the experience that was required. And that could be a bunch of different avenues that we discover. It could be a crane service company that might have just said, hey, we're here, we'll toss this in our fees that we've quoted you. And we're not saying that crane technicians in the crane industry aren't skillful enough to do the inspection, but they just might not be informed because it's just not their specialty. The same thing might be a salesperson, or a salesperson is teamed up with somebody from their facility, maybe even another third party, just to come in and do something that was agreed upon for, and again, some other agreement is, hey, you do this and we'll come in here and do this. You just want to make sure that you've taken the time to prove that whoever is going to do your rigging inspection is properly trained and that's just what they're there to do. You want to make sure you don't have that conflict of interest. When you're seeking out a provider, just make sure you spend the time to qualify them. If it's your first time or if it's your 10th year in a row managing your rigging inspection program, you want to make sure that you're prepared to address those pains at the end of the inspection so that your people within the facility buy into the program. If you don't get that buy-in, you're just never going to have a very successful inspection. Always make sure that you're in a position to repair or replace something as fast as possible. I don't think there's a greater way to lose support within an organization than to not replace something that might have been removed out of service, or to not repair something that's been removed out of service. Because what's going to happen then year after year is when people see the inspector coming down their aisle, or there's notification put out that somebody's going to be here on this day, all of a sudden things end up locked up and missing because they don't want to lose them. You want to be able to have the information to be able to engage in some deeper conversation is, hey, in this pile, show me what's bad with this particular chain sling. Okay, you're going to tag it out because it's missing this latch. Can you help me get that latch? It also might be is, hey, with all these nylons, I noticed that over the years I just accumulated a bunch of different stuff. Can you help me standardize? And if you engage in those kind of conversations, if you're asking those good questions and the person who performed your inspection can't support you with those answers, I would say your gut should be telling you you might not have gotten the service that you deserved, that you signed up for. It's also the responsibility of the provider on the front end to make sure you're going to be receiving what you're paying for or receiving what you're not paying for. Because if you are receiving a free service, it still has to be to the same standards as if you paid for it. What we want to make sure is that when a customer hires us for the inspection is that we have no conflict of interest. We're only there for the inspection itself. We're not there to sell you the replacements. We're not there to sell you the repairs. We're not there to sell you anything else. At the end of the day, we just want to make sure that your inspection was performed to your satisfaction and that you're in compliance. The reason I want to bring up the conflict of interest is sometimes that's why you see the poor inspections, is that there might have been an agreement at the beginning of the inspection that, hey, I'm going to purchase from you my repairs and my replacements. When another provider might be going through, they might be realizing, wow, there's just not going to be a lot of back-end business coming out of my time being here. I just want to get this done and get out of here. Now, of course, that's a little conjecture, but it makes a lot of sense as to why we've taken the path that we have, that we value our service. There's a fee for our service, and at the end of it, you're going to get what you paid for, and you're not going to be pushed into any other agreement. We want to come down and get our eyes on everything in your facility. We want to walk the facility. We want to know what we're up against, quantity-wise, size-wise, what's happening during each shift, downtimes, just everything that we've learned from experience could hold up an inspection. And as we're walking through and giving a tour, we'll be noticing items that are just out of compliance, which could be, hey, these alloy chain slings that you've got over here on your hoist, there's no ID tag. Or we might be looking at a below the hook device that's obviously homemade. It doesn't have the proper markings. You can tell that it's been repaired and rebuilt numerous times. And then we'll say, well, let's see your previous reports for all these items that we've just viewed in your facility. And we might view on the report that another vendor has marked them as compliant, which again puts us in a little bit of a sticky situation, is where we need to bust out the standards and to show the customer the facts that, hey, you've been perhaps receiving what we call a pencil whipped report, which is somebody just walked through and checked a whole bunch of things off. And then we'll have the opportunity to really inform the customer, here's what the standards say, here's what you should be expecting, here's why our proposal is going to look quite a bit different than something you might have received in the past. When we do an inspection, we really do like the customer to be with us if they can. And that can happen a couple different ways. They might give us a couple employees just to walk around with us to navigate the facility, help us really dig in and find the stuff we're looking for, right? But we also want to give them the opportunity to learn from us as we inspect the item. That's really the best way to go through an inspection, but sometimes customers just don't have that time to do it, or they don't have the people to give up to do it. We inform the customer before the inspection starts what we're going to be doing. If we find anything that's really out of line and should be addressed immediately, we want to meet with them during the day. And then at the end of the inspection, we want to meet with them and show them all our findings, what the next steps should be. Is there anything immediate? Is there anything that can take a little bit of time that we need to get you a quote for some replacements?
At Mazzella, we understand the importance of an inspection. We're not there to upsell you or to get in and out as fast as we can. We are here to do a comprehensive and detailed inspection to ensure safety and instill confidence and comfort. Are you looking for more information on inspections, or are you ready to take the next step? Check out the link in the description of this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a comment if you have any questions or just want to say hi. Once again, my name is Kay, and I'll see you later.